You know what I think is missing from most spiritual teachings? Integration and embodiment. I have spent years learning from some of the best teachers in the industry. I've attended the retreats, I've sat through the conferences, I've taken the certifications, I've studied the spiritual laws, universal principles, manifestation techniques, meditation practices, and mindset work. Whew. And here's what I noticed. For a few days afterward, we feel incredible, connected, inspired, expanded, and we see signs everywhere. We feel close to God, our angels, our soul, close to our intuition. It's heightened and we're on fire. And then we come home and the laundry's still there. The dishes are still in the sink and the kids are arguing. The bills still need to be paid. The difficult conversations still need to happen. And suddenly, all that wisdom we felt so connected to seems miles away. Not because it wasn't real, but because nobody taught us how to weave it into everyday life. How do we take that incredible experience, that heightened awareness, that euphoric feeling home with us? It took me years to finally figure this out because nobody taught me. And that's what I want to talk about today. Welcome to Divine Angelic Guidance. I'm Michelle Irene Stupsky, a certified spiritual coach, best-selling author, a guide for those seeking more peace, purpose, and connection in their everyday lives. Each week, we explore practical, spiritual, intuitive living techniques, personal growth, and wisdom that helps navigate life's challenges with greater awareness and grace. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin. Spirituality isn't something you practice only during meditation. It's something you practice while folding the laundry, while driving to work, while sitting with grief, while navigating anxiety, while having a difficult conversation. A sacred life isn't built from extraordinary moments. It's built from ordinary moments approached with extraordinary awareness. And I think this is where so many people get stuck. I know I fell into the trap. You keep searching for that next retreat, that next book, the next teacher, the next breakthrough, because they believe the answer is out there. I know because I did too. Now, don't get me wrong. All these options are viable and incredible, and they're a great way to learn and grow. Depending on what your soul is seeking, all the money and time spent isn't always necessary. They are most definitely needed, but I came to a point where I wasn't looking for more information. I was looking for transformation. And every time I attended another event, I would leave feeling amazing. And I would feel more connected to God and my angels and connected to my intuition and connected to my soul. And I would come home determined that this time things were going to be different. It was going to stick. And for a little while they were, until life happened. Because life always happens. The slow morning meditation is beautiful. But what about when you're running late and you don't have time to do it? The gratitude journal is great. But what about when you're angry? The retreat is transformational, but what about when somebody hurts your feelings? And yes, it happens, even though we know we are the one in control of our emotions. The spiritual teachings sound amazing. But what about when anxiety shows up, or that grief that always seems to come up again and again and again? The moments when you feel disappointed or uncertainty, and the unknown often seems to be appearing. This is where the real spiritual practice begins, not when life feels sacred, when life doesn't, when you're frustrated, when you're exhausted, when you're overwhelmed, and when the dishes are piled high, when the relationship feels strained, when the diagnosis comes, when the rejection happens, when the plan falls apart. That's where most people think spirituality has failed them. But I believe that's actually where spirituality begins. Because the question isn't, how do I feel spiritual when everything is going well? The question is, how do I remain connected when life isn't? One of the most powerful questions I have ever learned to ask myself is this: what is the sacred revealing to me in this moment? Not what is wrong with this moment, not why is this happening to me, not how do I make this moment go away, but what is this sacred revealing to me in this moment? What is this moment trying to teach me? What is this moment inviting me to see that I couldn't see before? This isn't toxic positivity. It's not spiritual bypassing, and it isn't pretending that everything happens for a reason. It's curiosity. It's awareness. It's spiritual maturity. It's the shift from victim to witness. Not denying the pain, not bypassing the pain, but becoming aware enough to ask, what is sacred about this? And oftentimes, we can't see it because all those emotions get in the way. They block our vision. And this is where the biggest shift you'll ever make, when you can make that pause in the moment and recognize what is actually happening for your greater good and move forward with the best solution for your soul. And honestly, this is where my spiritual practice changed my life, because I began to realize that the sacred wasn't hiding inside retreats, workshops, conferences, and meditation cushions. I don't have to be on sacred ground to feel more spiritual. I want to be more spiritual. I didn't want to seek the light. I wanted to walk with the light. I wanted to be the light even when others weren't looking. The sacred was waiting for me in my ordinary life, and it's waiting for you too. It's waiting in the hard conversations, even when the other person can't hear you or understand you. The unexpected detours that may be redirecting you on purpose, with purpose. The moments of uncertainty when it feels like the universe is conspiring against you. The moments when you may want to react but choose awareness instead and move with inspired action. The moments when you feel the need to control but choose trust instead and surrender fully to allow your angel team to transform that energy into something better. In my new book, You Weren't Born to Fit In, I share what I call the adoption codes. And the adoption codes are a framework for understanding how experiences of separation, such as adoption, divorce, loss, emotional absence, or generational trauma, shape our identity and belonging. They provide language and tools to recognize these patterns and gently return to the self beneath the roles, stories, and survival strategies. In the spiritual navigation section, I share the understanding that you are never alone. The knowing you are always guided, supported, and held. And honestly, I've shared this since my first book 10 years ago and throughout all my teachings. But if you're new to my podcast, this is the gist of it all. Each breadcrumb of wisdom that appears, a feeling in your heart, a whisper in your dreams, an unexpected sign, is an invitation to trust. But leaning into this inner compass, you begin to see that the path before you is not random. It is alive with direction, meaning, and grace. And this code is not about control. It's about trust. It's about listening deeply enough to follow the quiet voice of your soul. And here's the part I think most people miss. Spiritual navigation isn't only available when you see an angel number. It's available when you're frustrated. It's available when you're grieving. It's available when you're confused. It's available when you're standing at a crossroads, wondering what comes next. The guidance doesn't appear when life gets hard. That's when we need it most. And when it appears the strongest in our life, the mundane moments, Spirit appears and she holds you. You can feel it if you pause while drinking your coffee and staring out into the beauty of the sunrise. Listening to a child talk about their day, when you pause and forget about everything else for just a moment to focus on the words articulating through their brain and being able to speak. No matter how jumbled, this becomes sacred. Listening to an elder when they are telling the same story for the 100th time, or sitting with them through the trials of dementia. Yes, these are moments of sacredness. Resting even when it's not needed, when you breathe into that and you know you are doing something good for yourself. Yes, that's sacred. Grieving is sacred when we think of a memorable time with our loved one and a bit of laughter appears over the tears. Healing is sacred, and the ability to return to yourself, your soul self, the space within your soul that is always calm and free. And when we are willing to be present with them, because the sacred isn't about what we're doing, it's about how we're showing up. It's the awareness you bring. It's the presence you bring. It's the willingness to see beyond the surface of the moment. Maybe that's the missing piece nobody talks about. Not learning more, living more, not gathering more spiritual information, but integrating what you already know, bringing your spirituality into your relationships, into your work, into your healing, your family, your fears and your joys, into your ordinary Tuesday afternoon, because that's where life is happening. And that's where your soul is growing. So today, I want to leave you with a simple question. It's quite simple yet intricate when we ask ourselves, what is sacred revealing to me in this moment? Not tomorrow, not after the next retreat, not after the next breakthrough, but right now during this podcast. What is sacred about this moment for you? What has it revealed to you? And some may say it's all BS or psychobabble, and that's all well and good. But those of you who ponder the question, you're ready to reveal the sacred within. Sit with that. You might be surprised by what your soul has been trying to show you all along. So thank you for spending this time with me today. My hope is that this conversation reminded you that spirituality isn't something reserved for retreats, meditation, cushions, or special occasions. It lives within the ordinary moments of your life, waiting to be noticed, honored, and embodied. If this episode resonated with you, please take a moment to follow the podcast, leave a review, or share it with someone who may need this message today. Those simple acts help these conversations reach the people who are searching for them. And if you'd like to explore these teachings more deeply, I invite you to pick up a copy of my book, You Weren't Born to Fit In, where we continue this journey of weaving the sacred into everyday life. Until next time, remember this: you are never alone. You are always being guided by a power greater than yourself. You are supported. You are held. Trust the wisdom of your soul and the quiet whispers that are always leading you home. Until next time, take good care of yourself and stop in the moments and pause.